I've made I've generated almost $2 million in the last year and a half online, and 95% of it came through this platform called Skool, which is effectively a community info product coaching platform where you can sell communities and coaching, as I said. And I'm making this video to give some context on what I would do if I was starting from scratch, because what I've realized is it's way easier than it seems. It's actually not all that hard to make, let's say 10K a month online, and it's not that hard to scale from 10, 20K a month up to 100K a month. And the reason I say that is because we run the marketing and sales for multiple different info product businesses, and we do this on a day-to-day basis. And I've sold info coaching and services from industries ranging from manifestation to SEO to community business coaching to AI, and barbering coaching. Like honestly, in so many different realms. And so I have a really good context of what works across different industries. So you can use this video as effectively a blueprint for what you need to do to get started, to make money, and to effectively scale, because these are the principles that I think about when I'm looking at launching new offers, because we launch new offers and we also scale offers. But these are the principles that I used to think about when launching new offers from scratch to 20K a month plus, and what we think about when we're taking offers from 20, 30K a month to 100K a month plus. Okay. So what you need to understand, the first thing is you need to understand what you're selling. Now, I know that sounds very easy to understand, but you have to really put emphasis into your offer. A good offer will make or break your business, or the offer will make or break your business. A good offer, you're making a lot of money. A bad offer, you're not going to make a lot of money. Very simple. Now, you may think, okay, yeah, I have an offer. Fine. Articulate it to me. If you can write your offer, put it in the comments and I can roast it. If you can articulate your offer clearly in one sentence, it's usually a pretty good thing. If you can't tell people what you do, then you're going to have trouble selling it. You're going to have trouble marketing it, and you're going to have trouble selling it. For example, some examples of some good offers, or some mistakes that people make with offers. Their offers are too vague. Their offers are, for example, if I say, yeah, I help online businesses grow. That's not a very good offer. However, if I say I help online, if I say I help info product businesses scale their businesses with webinar funnels, or even better is I help info businesses scale to 100K a month plus with webinars. That's very good. Why? Because you're targeting a specific, not niche, but a specific avatar, a specific kind of conversion mechanism, and a specific outcome. And offers can really be based around outcomes, or kind of getting closer to an outcome, or getting further away from pain. So if you want to look at this in different industries, you can look at it this way. That was one offer. Another one, let's say for fitness, which is one I used to be in, you can say I help people, or I help postmenopausal women lose their belly, or lose fat in 30 days, whatever it is. So you're targeting a specific avatar with a specific outcome and a specific, let's say, mechanism for doing that. Now, the reason this is very clear is because if you can't, as the founder, articulate your offer clearly, then you're going to have a lot of trouble selling it to people. It's going to be very hard. Your marketing is not going to be convincing, because you're not going to have, like, your videos aren't going to be targeted towards anyone. Your ads aren't going to convert. You're not going to be able to explain exactly why they should buy the thing on the sales call. And if you're not convinced of it, or if you're not clear on what you're selling, then your prospects surely won't be. And if they hesitate, they will not buy. So the first thing is understanding what you are selling. The second thing is understanding how you are selling it to people. Okay? And really, there's only 3 ways to sell your offer. So let's say you have a Skool community, right? Let me pull up my screen here, for instance, and you can have a look. So this is Skool. And let's say one of our communities that we run is in manifestation, for example. This is a community that we've been running for the last year and a half. And you ask yourself, okay, manifestation. How do you even sell that? Well, in this case, we do it organically through YouTube. So really, when you're looking at content, ads, or outbound or outreach, those are really the only three. So you got to pick one. With this is a pretty influencer-based kind of community or program, and so we rely on content. But if you don't want to wait for content, the two more immediate ones are outreach or ads. Ads obviously take some capital to burn before you start making money. That's kind of how it goes. You have to burn some money before you make money with ads because you need to test what works and what doesn't. But effectively, you have to pick one of those three vehicles, and you have to pick those and commit to them for a good amount of time. A lot of the businesses we work with, excuse me, are organic-led businesses because organic traffic converts way easier and there's a lot more context around it. But I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do in each given scenario. So let's say we take outbound, okay? Outbound is a bit trickier, and you need a very specific type of business for this. What I think outbound works especially well for is service-based businesses. What I mean by that is businesses where you, for example, at my agency, if I, let's say, help info businesses scale with webinars, then I can reach out to info business owners, which is one of our main ways of getting clients, by the way, and show them what I can do for them, show them what I've done for other people, and present my offer to them directly in the DMs. And a lot of the times that works really, really well because service-based businesses are very easy to conceptualize. And so a really good offer in a service-based business, and to an extent a coaching business, can be enough to start a conversation with a sophisticated buyer through outreach, right? And when I say outreach, I'm usually talking about cold outreach. There's different kind of funnels and things you can do, which include DMs, which I'll talk about. But here I'm talking purely about cold outreach. For example, I'm contacting someone who does not know about me. The last deal that we signed, we happened to see that, and now it's a six-figure deal annually, which is going to be amazing. But we saw that they weren't running ads. We saw that they were declining. And so we reached out to them asking why they weren't running ads. And ads is one of the services that we run at our agency. And so we presented the offer. They liked the sound of it. They liked our case studies. We got on a call. We closed the clients. So it's a clear value exchange, right? So also you have to understand who your buyer is. Is it B2B? Is it B2C? If it's B2B, which means you're selling to another business, outbound can work really, really well for that. B2C doesn't work as well. There's a lot of regulations around it, and it's a lot harder to find those people and your ideal customer. So if you're going B2C, meaning, let's say, for example, another one of our offers is we teach people how to start and launch their own AI businesses, or rather start and launch or replace their income, let's say. So we help people replace their income by monetizing AI automations. How do we market that? Well, it would be very hard to find people to DM, right? It'd be very hard to where would I even find someone who'd be interested in replacing their income, right? It'd be a big assumption to just DM someone randomly on Instagram and be like, hey, are you looking to replace your income? That'd be very presumptuous. If someone messaged me saying that, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Get away from me. So what we do is we have to generate some kind of intent beforehand, some kind of interest. Two ways you can do that are content and ads. Now, what happens when you generate the eyeballs? Because there's effectively a few steps to a sales process to understand. You have to generate attention, and then you have to convert that attention into money, right? So generating attention and converting that attention are two different skill sets. It's marketing and it's sales. The marketing portion of it will be the ad, will be the piece of content, will be the branding, everything around that. And then the further you get towards the actual exchange of money happening, you get to sales. And there is some crossover in between. So for example, every well-executed sales process has a nurture process in the middle. And this, you could say, is effectively a crossover of sales and marketing. And some common ways that you can do this, the most simple ways that you can do this is, let's say you pick content, you make content on Twitter or Instagram or YouTube. If it's Instagram or Twitter, which are some of the funnels that we run for clients, well, you're going to generate attention through your posts, but then you need a way of converting that attention. And both of those platforms have a great thing called the DM feature. So you're going to want to reach out to people who are not interested, who are interested, who've shown interest, who've liked your post, who've commented, who've followed you, and you're basically going to ask them what made them follow you. And then from there, you can present them your offer, right? So it's fairly straightforward to understand is you generate attention and then you need a way of converting that attention. If you're doing it on YouTube, which is one of the highest converting social media platforms, because you can get 300, 500 views of the right person and you're off to the races. You're making a lot of money because the right person will buy. This is also the other thing is don't care so much about views, care about reaching the right people, which with today's social media AI, like with the AI algorithms and the social media platforms, you can do really, really easily. And with 1,000 views, I mean, I have friends of mine who make millions of dollars a year with literally no more than 1,000 views a video. It's ridiculous. And they post twice a week because they're reaching the right people. So on YouTube, you want to convert that audience. What do? Well, people will watch your video, and then in the top link in the description, you will have a funnel. Now, a funnel is basically just a website. I mean, this is a landing page, right? So it's a website with a landing page where there'll be a video on it, and then there'll be, some text below and a button getting them to do, what they need to do. So for example, I can show you, this is an example of a funnel that we ran for a client. Is you have a headline, and the headline kind of gives them the dream outcome, or whatever it is you're giving them. You'll have the video that kind of tells them about what it is that you have to offer, and then a button to either join or to apply or whatever the call to action is. So if in your case you're watching, you're teaching about fitness, then you'll have a video walking through kind of the common misconceptions, what you help, how you're different, etc. The pain points of the customer. And then a button for people to apply to work with you. And then your videos, you're just, on your YouTube channel, you're just talking about fitness or teaching people how to lose weight. And that is effectively the start of a conversion mechanism. So once these people have kind of taken an action, taken some kind of interest on either replying to your outreach message if you're doing outreach, watching a YouTube video and clicking on the link in your description and filling out a survey, or engaging with a Twitter post or an Instagram post that you have, you need to now go and pivot from marketing to sales. Okay. How you do that is by, the way I like to frame it is, it's a saying I got from an old mentor of mine, Taki Moore. And the saying is, conversions happen in conversations. Okay. So the more conversations you can have, the more conversions you will make. Right. So you always need to think about, how can I have more conversations? So on these social media platforms, you'll pick DMing. You'll have yourself at the beginning or someone from your team as you scale up DMing this person who engages on your social media platform and seeing if they'd be a good fit for what it is you sell, right? So you'd message them and you'd ask them something like, hey, thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for following, whatever it is that they did. What made you take X action? Is it because you are interested in the content, or because you're trying to, and then here you put X results. So for example, you're trying to make money with AI, or you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to, scale your business with webinars, whatever it is your offer is, you just fill in the gap there. And then they will respond, and now you're in the sales cycle. So now what you need to do is get people to the further towards getting money. There's a few ways you can convert interested people into money. I would recommend doing sales calls. The reason being, and don't be scared, sales calls, oh, I don't know how to do sales. Just think about it as a conversation with a friend, right? So the reason I recommend sales calls is because you can get on the phone, you can ask people questions, you can get a vibe of people, they can get a vibe of you, it generates a lot of trust, and then it's a really seamless way into collecting their card details and taking a payment. So how'd you do this? Once you have a chat with them on the DMs and you find out what their pain points are, what their goals are, and what they've been struggling with, you can tell them, hey, awesome. So I actually have this thing that helps people get X outcome, whether it's a program or a service or whatever. I was actually wondering if I think it can help you. So if you're interested, do you want to get on a call and see if it could? And then if it can, we can work together. And if it can't, then no worries at all. I'll just point you in the right direction. They'll usually say yes. Maybe 70% of the time they'll say yes. And then you book a call with them on your calendar. Once you've done that, How do you take the call? Think about it again. Simply a conversation. You want to learn about them. If you are just genuinely curious about the person you're talking to, if you're just genuinely interested in what the problems are that they have and if you can help them, you will make money and people will give you money just based on kind of genuineness alone without any sales skills. I've done that. My first high ticket sale ever online was just because I got on a sales call, asked some questions about what the guy was struggling with, asked for his, saw what outcome he was trying to get to. I was like, yeah, I can help you do that. Here's what I've done for myself. And then the guy paid me 3K or 3.5K even. And now he's a really good friend of mine to this day. Um, so just look at it as a conversation. Don't look at it as sales. Just look at it as trying to understand what it is they need help with, how you can solve it, or where they're trying to get to, if you can solve it, and if you can explain how. Now, of course, this isn't the optimal sales strategy. This isn't going to get you a consistent, 30, 40, 50% close rate at scale. But for, the beginning to scale up to 10, 15K a month, this is certainly very, very good. And again, it's just a way of simplifying what sales is. It's really not as complicated as people think it is, at least to get started and get some kind of movement in. So once you do that, you take payment through your payment processor or through Skool, which makes it really easy. And then that's basically it. Like, it's actually really simple. And then the way businesses scale is by increasing leverage, which is basically how much output can you get for the inputs. And what that means is by hiring employees so that you can, in 1 hour of your work, by telling them what to do, managing them and training them, you can get 5 hours of work done. And you have salespeople, or you have content people making content for you or running ads for you. You have salespeople running these calls and conversations on your behalf, and you do nothing. And for an hour of your work, 10 hours have occurred and X amount of dollars have been generated. But really, the principles stay the same. For 90% of businesses, B2B or B2C, it's really the same. You need to generate attention and get people to find out about your stuff. You need to have more conversations with them, either over the DMs or over phone calls if they opt into your funnel or if they get on a phone with you. Uh, and then you express the value, and then if they see the value, then great. They pay you and you deliver a service. But really, the way you scale is by pumping money into ads so you can get more reach exponentially, by just spending more dollars, or by hiring people. I mean, both, really. So really, it's not that simple. And the biggest lesson that I've learned over the years is that it's not that simple. Or it's not that hard, rather, I should say. So if you are overcomplicating it, then and you feel like you're stuck, it's probably because you're not doing enough volume, you haven't stuck it for long enough, or you're just doing something wrong and you're overcomplicating it. Be sure that the thing you're selling is something that people want. Tell people about it. Have conversations with these people. Do it every day. And then it will work. Hope this was helpful. We'll speak soon.